setting up here in Marshall Street, joined by someone that's helped me a lot along my journey and probably like one of the first persons that I kind of linked in and connect with. But Matthew Craig, brother, how you doing? Thanks for coming on.
You, man.
Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. It's sick to be here. The first thing that I find with this spot is it's so like inspirational. Like, because I was telling you how I want to build something like this at home, but seeing how you have done this and everything, it's like mad to see, bro.
Yeah, it's cool, man. I'm pretty lucky. I get to reflect that I'm in a cool creative space sort of 24/7. But yeah, all that sort of stuff's super intentional. So like Marshall and myself both have backgrounds in sport as well. So it's like, you know, that inspiration you get when you walk through like a footy club or a cricket club change rooms or whatever, and you see like photos of people that have won shit in the past, and you see the premiership flags hanging down and stuff like that. That's the sort of what we've tried to create here for music, though. So there's a sense of pride in the place.
Yeah, it's everything. I'm even in the toilet.
Yeah, we got to make some content about you reacting to yourself. I did that on purpose for the viewers.
We'll put the photo up in there. The first thing I was like, I'll do a piece. Walked down, I was like, it's fucking...
Sees a photo of himself. Yeah. I did that on purpose. I'm glad you like that.
No, it is a sick spot. It's like unique in the sense of that it does have that massive kind of community vibe, and it's already like well down on the list. And for those people that are watching, I'm not looking at my phone in a rude way. Usually I'd print out, but I can't find a printer. I couldn't find a printer.
I'm going downstairs.
So, do you?
Yeah.
I should have asked.
Yeah,
no
money printer.
Printers these days. Money printer. But no, I think when I walked in here, and even just seeing like the lads out there, like the sense of community that you have here, like is that at the core element of $8? Everything you do, like there's such a strong community element. Why do you think that's like important? And
100%, bro. Yeah, everything we do here is based about community, and community like in terms of inclusivity. So like there's a wide range of artists that are here across genre, across like ethnicity, gender, sexuality, any of that sort of stuff, different backgrounds, styles and sound, and it's just like a safe space for all creatives to be. And that's super intentional, and also all like skill levels as well. Like this is a home to people that have got like records on the walls and millions of streams and whatever.
I'm just gonna move this.
Move the plant.
I
kept bumping it.
I can just hear it tussling in the background. All right, cool.
Yeah, from people that have got like millions of streams and toured internationally or whatever, to people like teenagers. This is their first time in a studio, and literally had that situation today where some like a teenage band in, and one of the homies just got back from a 6-week European tour, but all under the same building, all at the same level, just human beings who like creativity, and that's really important to us.
It's such a good space as well for people to, that inspirational thing of having all those levels here. Yeah. It's not as if it's just kind of like, it's a certain foot or a certain shoe you got to fit into to be here. It's so like it's broad, and I think that is kind of how I look at it. Like that's community, and that not everyone is the same thing. I think
I hate clicks, bro. I hate that shit. And that's one of the things people say when they come here. They're like, oh, it's different to what I expected. And I'm like, because it's super like decentralized. Like I don't take percentages out of no one's work here or nothing. Like everyone's an independent creative. Like we look at it a bit like the model like that a gym has as well. Like for a gym that you sign up, you pay a debit or whatever, and you can use the facilities 24/7. But when you're at the gym, you're there to get the best out of yourself, and everyone's there to do the same stuff. And it's super encouraging. You see people in the gym, you might get a bit intimidated, but if you drop a weight or you need a spot, someone will be there for you in a sec, because we're all on that journey together. And you go to a gym, certainly in my gym, there's dudes who are huge and whatever, and then there's people who aren't looking like that, or it might be like older people and they're just trying to be mobile and whatever. We're home to bands that come and play covers, like mates who usually jam in the garage or whatever, old school musos in their 50s, 60s, retire with kids or whatever. They come here and jam, and they feel at home with the young rappers or whatever, because we're just all on that same journey together. There's no sort of like clickiness or ego. That's check that at the door here.
Yeah. I feel that as soon as you walk in as well, it definitely is that sort of vibe. Even I got that early on when I started working with you through AUDollars. I felt that instantly, because and what you're saying, I can vouch for.
Yeah,
even
love.
You live it and you breathe it as well. But I remember like you reaching out to me and me first getting linked in, and that's what was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago or something, man. I was just starting. There was like nothing. There was no 7-3 stuff in this sort of sense. There was nothing. So I see that massively. When did like all that start? When did this place, when was it built? When was like $80? What is the first
so it's a long story. So I've been doing, what are we now, 2025. So in 2012, I lived in the UK for a year. And when I was living over there, I was living in London, traveled around, did a bunch of music festivals. At that time, I realized that my calling purpose or whatever, or my passion was the entertainment industry. No, actually, not fuck the entertainment industry, was creativity and culture and the arts. Like I realized that was my future, and that's what really fueled my fire. And so around that time, like I was already rapping and stuff, but I wasn't really active and all that sort of stuff. But was going to gigs over there, rap battles, everything. A lot of festivals, and I was just like, this is what I want to do. So at the same time, my brother Junior, who's a prominent DJ, and he founded AUDollars, we co-founded together. He was having the same realization back home because we'd always played around with it, but it was never like the first priority. You know what I mean? Yep. We come from immigrant family, so it was like academic, school, work comes first, music is a hobby type shit. And so around that time, I was like, that's what I want to do. So I came back to Australia. I was still studying at the time, but I was like, dove full on into the music. We founded RMF, Real Music Family, our collective, and which was sort of like, we were inspired by the likes of like ASAP Mob or Good Music or Odd Future, that type. And so we were just a bunch of creatives, and we were all homies who just hung out, made different music, came together, and we didn't know what the fuck we were doing. We were just hanging out, making music. But we started booking shows, started writing, recording, you know, doing that sort of thing, and it turned into a label. And well, it's cool. We used to throw events and stuff. One of those events was some rap battles we threw. This dude came through freestyling and bodied it all. His name was Ivan Ooze.
Oh, true.
And then that's how we linked.
When was that? What year was that?
2013, 14, around then. 13, I reckon. Yeah. So we would just put on gigs. We put him on a gig after that as well, but he didn't have a DJ. And Junior had just started DJing, and he was DJing for our crew, and he was like, I'll DJ for you. Well, like, 6, maybe 8 weeks after that or something, Ooze blew up. You know, he had that Facebook
the thing
car
in the car
freestyle
at the traffic light.
Yeah, that went viral. Yeah. That was only a few weeks after we were all literally sleeping in tents, playing gigs out in Gippsland and whatever.
Yeah.
Like, and Junior's DJing for him, and then he started getting booked crazy after that, obviously. And him and Junior would start rehearsing, and Junior was like, well, I guess I'm your DJ now.
Yeah.
And then they started getting booked for national tours and that. And so they did like Wu-Tang, they did Ice Cube, I can't remember, Cypress Hill. Like they were getting booked flat out around that 2014-15 period. They did a tour with Seth and Dylan Joel, and it was like a 50-date tour. So they were away for like 3-4 months at a time, yeah. And we're all still pretty fresh and young. They're all early 20s or whatever. And from that, though, Junior's playing that many DJ sets, obviously, and he was playing a bit some after parties and that as well, and started linking up with all the support artists around the country and that. And he discovered that there were people making the same sort of music that we were making, but I guess the industry infrastructure didn't exist back then like it does now. Like Triple J was blonde hair, blue eye, snapback. That's it.
Yeah.
Like that was hip hop. Didn't look or sound as diverse as it does now, but Junior started linking up with all these artists that come from similar stories to us, whether it's immigrant background, First Nations background, whatever it is, but I'm doing stuff that's a bit different to what typical Australian hip hop was back then. And so he just started spinning these DJ sets and just named them AUDollars, and it was just featuring all dope shit that we'd found from around, or that he'd found from around the country, and we're like flat on the DMs communicating this whole time or whatever. And he comes back to Melbourne and starts playing these DJ sets, and we're live streaming them. I start live streaming them out of our basement studio at my parents' crib, which is like 20 minutes from here in the north. And Facebook live stream had been around like 1 week, like it just started. So we're like, oh, we're going to test this shit out. And cracked iPhone 4, like it was a cracked screen on iPhone 4. I remember it vividly, that's how long ago this was. I started live streaming, and the algorithm just picked it up, and it went like mental, We're talking like thousands of likes and views and comments. And for us, it was just starting out. We'd seen obviously Ooze blow up, so we knew it was possible. Then all of a sudden, we started doing it on these DJ sets. We did 3 of them in the space of a week or 2. I can't even remember what it was, but we started getting like serious traction. And there's people commenting like, "Yo, where's this from? Is this Chicago? What are they? I'm from Chicago. This sounds like it's from here." And it's like, no, this is from Western Sydney. Or,
this was all Australian rap sort of stuff.
Well, it was only Australian hip hop stuff.
True.
This is middle of 2016, I reckon this happens. And so we're getting all these comments like, yo, you need to take this bigger. Like, what are you turning these live streams into? And we're looking at each other like, I don't know. We'd always have thoughts of having a blog or something because we were big on like hip hop message boards back in the day. So we like that community just discussing hip hop. That's how pretty much our crew RMF came together. Like I met some of them on hip hop message boards or just hip hop discussion because that's just what you did. And then you kicked it at someone's shed or whatever, and you're smoking bongs and whatever, like, and just rapping and freestyling. So anyway, we're getting these comments, you're going to take it bigger. So we hit up one of the local radio stations, Sin FM, like a youth station linked with RMIT, the uni here. And within 3 weeks, did the radio training. We had a show on the air, and it was just $80. But it was pretty crazy because like particularly Junior, like had already those connections from being a touring artist for the last 3 years. So everyone knew him and was fucking with him because he's playing their music on a platform. Oh,
that's my
that's the plug.
I have my phone on D&D, but that's my camera at my studio back home. Sometimes like someone will turn the light off in the hallway and it picks it up.
That's mad that you know that shit. That's dope.
Yeah. If that starts going off like heaps, that means there's definitely some
someone
motherfucker in my
breaking
studio.
in the joint. Yeah,
but that's how I know. If I get the one ding, I'm like, no, it's like calm. Oscar just leaving because he's across from me. He's leaving, but. Anyway,
man, got it on lock. I like it. He's on his Liam Neeson shit here. Just like, I got you, motherfucker. It was like, so Junior had that respect and connection. So people like started fucking with the radio show real quick. We had people want to come on as guests. Like, you know, a couple of weeks in, I remember Kwame driving 10 hours down from Melbourne to come on the show before he was him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Colt Shotter.
Those lads.
Yeah, they were.
I've actually seen that.
Yeah, that Cypher and that. And so we're doing Cyphers. And we're doing it before there was any infrastructure. Yeah, like for any of the stuff that exists now, the podcasts, the platforms that are doing big scale branded shit. Yeah. We're just dudes with fucking dodgy phones in a uni studio, you know what I mean? Like just doing this for the streets, just doing it for the homies. And it just started taking off. And Facebook was where we built our following because it was Facebook was what it was at the time. I met so many rappers on Facebook. That's how I first met Chill and Husky and everyone that was around that time, Greeley and that.
Yeah.
And so it started just growing and growing, and then the radio show killed it for a year or for a season, and then we're like, fuck it, let's launch a blog, and we started linking up with doing some writing, some articles, and like had some homies that were writers and brought them into the circle, and then the blog started taking off, and it just grew and flipped from there. And the story of Marshall Street has that. So back in those 2013, 14 days when we were playing gigs with Ooze and that, Ben Marshall, the founder of Marshall Street Studios, he had a crew called the DYE. He was from the north as well, same area. We knew each other's crews. We played a few gigs together. We weren't like tied or homies, but we were just aware of each other. Same area, all love. I actually had a bit of a gripe with him because we both had sticker tag games, and he was just a better sticker tagger than I was. They're like, there's still RMF stickers around the north from like a decade ago, but there's more DYE ones with his crew. Like I still see DYE
artifacts,
ones. Yeah, in crazy locations. And so I was always a little bit pissed off at him because I was just like, fuck. Their sticker tag game's better than ours. But they were cool. We played a few gigs and we just knew each other from a distance. We weren't that tight. But then come 2019, Marshall's putting together the plans for this. Like he built this place and was starting to launch it. Our mutual friend JJ DeMello passed away. And he was just like one of the most charismatic, enigmatic figures in the north, and was just a mutual friend of ours. And so Marsh reached out over that because JJ was the first resident at Marshall Street.
Right.
Before it opened, this place wasn't even finished yet, and JJ had a room here, and so that sort of just brought us together. It definitely feels like JJ had his hands across that whole moment, and from then we just, when someone passes away and you just get around the homies and you just kick it and you hang out and you're just in each other's presence. And you don't even have to be doing nothing. It's just you just don't want to be alone in those periods. We started linking like that, and we're just hanging out flat out, whether it was here, whether it was my crib, whatever, and then. From that, we had a studio out in Maribyrnong around that 2018 period. We shut that down, and then we moved all our stuff into here. And from that experience, we were like one of the first residents here. And then we were like, there was just a meeting of the minds in terms of like Marshall had this really cool facility that it was bare bones as fuck compared to what it is now. And we had this really great platform that had a great marketing reach and like a real tap into the culture.
Two come together.
The two combined, and then we could really grow this into something big. And that's what we did. We sort of just put it all together. Within a year or two, me and Marsh moved in together as well, and then we're just running this place flat out. Now he's now based in the States in Nashville, and I've been running this place now full time for 3-4 years. Yeah,
really.
So he's over there. He moved over there a couple of years ago. Now got his O1 visa or whatever, with the plans to launch a Marshall Street in the States as well.
Mad.
So he's been working at some studios and stuff over there, just getting a feel for the culture and that.
Yep.
Potentially there'll be a studio open at some stage. He's also just got his hands in the industry, so it was more about just making a connection over there with something, so we can see how that evolves. But yeah, look, we tap in once a week, but he's doing his thing over there, and I've been running this joint. And what's cool is like, we moved in together during that COVID period when we weren't even allowed to have this place open.
But this place would have been open then?
Though? It was open prior to COVID, but we had to shut for the better part of 2 years during the lockdowns in Melbourne, which were hectic.
Yep.
And so we were allowed in as business owners to come and do renovations and that, but we couldn't have clients and that, but still had a mortgage to pay and all that sort of shit.
Yeah, that'd been tough.
Business expenses, you know what I mean? So that was a tough period, but coming off the back of that, like we definitely doubled down on our digital presence during that time. Like AUDollars grew fucking a million times of what it was during that COVID period.
I think everyone was on there, glued on their phones.
Glued on phones. I punched out a couple hundred interviews and shit, just like smashed it. And so then when it reopened, we had this increased reach and we're able to fill all the rooms. So there's 10 rooms here. And each room is leased out on a 3, 6, 12-month basis. And we've been full pretty much consistently since like 2022 now, which is a real blessing to have after those lean years. But it's just so much about, that it's not just been those years, it's been like dating back to 2012 that gets you to this point. And now I'm just in a cool place that, I get to be here, hang out with creatives all day, have people like yourself come through, can provide a space to contribute, build legacy, create stories, but most importantly, just link with cool people. And that's what I'm about. And the best part about this place is that directly across the road, there's a community studio as well that's run by the council. It's called Jet Studio. That's the first place I ever recorded when I was like 14 years old.
That's I remember full circle moment,
driving down the Concord
hectic.
with my first demo in the car as a 14-year-old in my dad's time. I remember driving down this street and pulling up at the traffic lights and pulling the windows down and bumping my first demo.
That's still running now.
Still runs now. We have a cool relationship with them, but they do all like council-based stuff, like programs. They run graph programs for the kids and shit like that. Yeah, it's mad.
That's sick.
And so a lot of youngins will like start there and then graduate to this place. And, I sit over the sunset, which we were just looking at before, and look at that studio, and I'm just like, fuck, man, life's full circle type shit. It's pretty cool.
It's cool when life links up like that, and it often does. It often does. There's even been times where I think of those full symmetrical moments, and you just sit back and reflect. You're like, wow. That's hectic.
Yeah, man.
It's cool to hear as well. And you often hear people talk about the impact of COVID and they're like, and it obliterated business and everything, but that and it shows again, like your worth ethic. And I know this because I've worked with you, but then you took that opportunity to be like, fuck it, I'm going to grind and do what I can do in that situation. Like it is tough as well. It would have been bloody hard.
Oh, yeah, it was tough. Yeah, especially in Melbourne. Like we were fucked. And it put a lot of strain on life in all areas, like personal life and all that sort of stuff. Dramatically shifted for a lot of people during that time. But I look back on it as well. Like, I was having this conversation the other day with someone as well, and I was like, there's good and bad elements of it. Like, I handled it really well in some ways and really bad in others. Yeah. And look back on it now, I was like, oh, but you're probably too hard on yourself if you criticize it, because it was a 100-year event. Like, we weren't prepped for. Like, and I say this a lot of times to creatives and that as well. I'm like, if you just made it through that, or business people, if you made it through that, I think you just have to count that as a win.
Yeah, definitely, bro. Definitely. It's sick to hear the story of this place, AUDollars and stuff, but I want to hear, and I actually don't know a lot about it either, apart from we linked at BTV and you kind of told me a bit of your background, but more of like your story, your upbringing, like where did Matthew Craig, what was the kind of sprout to creativity and just who you are now, I guess, as a person?
Yeah, shit. All right. Well, what's cool is that, so Matthew Craig is my birth name as well. Like, that's my first name and my middle name. I've got a long Sri Lankan last name that no one could ever pronounce in school. So I just adopted
What is it? What is it?
Ondaatje, ONDAATJE. Like long, a lot of vowels in that. Yeah. And none of the teachers at school could ever pronounce my name or whatever. So I was like, Matthew Craig. I think I just sort of adopted that name as my art name. But I've been making music and creativity shit since I was a kid. So my dad had a massive record collection, and so we never like really watched TV when I was a kid. We would a bit every now and then, but it was like just music always playing in my house. Dad flirted with music when he was a kid, like he drummed a little bit, and I think he played a little bit of trumpet, but nothing too serious or whatever. But then he DJ'd for a bit, and radio DJ'd and that and stuff before I was born. But it meant that he had this massive record collection.
Yeah, he would have been doing that with vinyl.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. And so he just had this massive record collection, and he was just always playing records around the house. And we just used to have like family dance parties. It was like Michael Jackson or Stevie Wonder or Meatloaf or whatever it was. And we would just dance, and just dance was probably my first love of music before the actual creation of music. I just created this, I guess, memory in my mind, or this connection in my mind between like music means happy times, family, and so I just was gravitating towards it. Yeah. So I always enjoyed music. Started writing poetry when I was like 5 or 6, to be honest. Like I discovered Dr. Seuss at a young age. I started to read at a really young age, and then discovered Dr. Seuss because my mum was a super like invested mum in like my upbringing. Like every room in the house, used to have like a sticker on it with the word of what it was. So it was like door or like table or fridge or whatever.
That's hectic. And then as you're growing up, you're learning this shit quick.
Yeah, and that's why my mum did it.
Yeah,
she did it. And so I would associate the word with and that's why I started to read at a really young age.
Yeah.
And then, so my mum was always giving me books and that. Like I never used to get like, I had toys, but mum always used to get me books instead of toys. Like as I say, she was really invested in like us as kids, which I'm real lucky for. And so became obsessed with words and discovered Dr. Seuss and just loved rhyming. So I started writing poems, and then I discovered rap through Dad's records, I guess. But I really tapped in with like Lauryn Hill when I was like, I would have been 6 or 7 or 8, something like that. And I remember when did Miseducation came out in 96, so I would have been 5. So around a few years later than that, I came across that, and I was just like, "Whoa, what is this?" It combined my love of music with my love of rhyming, and so I started writing rhymes when I was a kid, and then just trying to rap and whatever. And it was just a little hobby thing because no one in Australia rapped.
Yeah.
Not that I knew anyway. This little like Sri Lankan Italian kid, and then discovered I think different artists like Ja Rule, Nelly, Eminem. Obviously started becoming popular when I was like 10 or 11. And then I remember at primary school, they had like the school carols every year.
Yeah.
And I signed up to be a part of it, and I was like, but I'm doing a rap. And so then I did the rap fight. I don't know if you've ever seen Sister Act, when there's the rap in the end of that movie from like the carols or whatever. And so I did that. And so my first ever gig, I was like 10 or 11, and it's the school carols, and there's literally 1,000 people there because it's all the families of the school. So my first ever gig was in front of like 1,000 people. The school carols rapping a verse, and I had hat backwards and sunnies on, and yeah, bro. I would love it if my mum would definitely have like videos.
Oh, that'd be classic.
It'd be like VHS video from back then, or maybe some photos of that back in the day. I remember doing it, man, and I just got this buzz off it, and so I like really tapped into music. Probably in that year or the year after, there was a dude at school that was offering free guitar lessons, and I signed up for him and started playing guitar about 11 years of age. And then I remember for Christmas that year, my parents were like, "Oh, what would you like for Christmas?" That shit. And I was like, "A guitar." And they just looked at me and laughed, like, "What the fuck do you want a guitar for?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, I've been practicing. I've been getting lessons for the last 6 months." And they were like,
"Oh, so they didn't even know.
They didn't know.
You're doing it on the side."
I was just doing it. I was just doing it as this thing I was going to once a week. And it was cool. And they bought me this little guitar. I've still got it. It's still downstairs somewhere in one of the studios. It's a little, nylon string acoustic. It's probably worth $40 or $50 or whatever. But that was my first guitar. And I was just like, played that flat out, went to high school and did music through there and played guitar. And so I was always into a wide range of music. I was into hip hop sort of stuff, but I was into like rock and metal and stuff because I love guitar. So like Cultures was my favorite band of all time. Like I love that Aussie pub rock sort of stuff. But then like Jimi Hendrix, Led Zeppelin, all that stuff, but also rap at the same time. So I just enjoyed the creativity and the art form and dancing, bro. I was dancing. Me and Junior had like dance crews through our teenage years. Like, my school, like it was just me in high school. It was me and one other Indian kid in the year level, and I think Junior had like the same. So we had this little crew of like all Indian and Lankan kids did back in the day. We all thought we were African American, so we all had hip hop rap dance crews and stuff. Like, so that was mad fun. And then came the to be honest, the intersection was definitely when I was in the UK, and was when it was like it was always a hobby and fun and something on the side. But I studied music, like I did my guitar lessons and that, did my VCE, and that. But it was always like on the side. I said it was a hobby. And then, that moment in London in 2012, and I was like, nah, this
so you saw like a bit of the scene going on there, and
man, it was just as UK hip hop was starting to pop globally. Like,
who was about then?
Tiny Temper, Dizzy Rascal, Professor Green. Like, it was hella early days, and it was only because before then, same as Aussie, like you would get laughed at for rapping in a British accent or whatever. It was like it was a joke, but now like.
Because everyone was looking at the American.
That was it. That's how you rap. Yeah. And so there was British guys that would rap in slightly or fully blown American accents back in the day. And it was around that time, 2011, 2012, the UK hip hop started.
It's crazy how it changes with that as well. And now you look at UK stuff and people here are trying to sound like that.
Like that, yeah, exactly.
And that's what I'm like.
And folks in the UK, in the US
are trying to sound like UK now as well, because the UK's gone boom and absolutely blown up. No, you definitely see that, and that's where I'm kind of in the corner, like, nah, it's happening to Australia soon.
No, 100%.
And it already is, like, it's already breaking through.
There's already acts that are popping off.
There definitely is.
Yeah, you got your 1/4s.
Yeah.
Sampa are great. Like, she's been in here recording lately. I don't know if I'm going to say that, but
We'll cut that shit out if
not. But yeah, like, there's artists that are doing dope shit in Australia that are starting to get international waves. And yeah, you can see it. It's going to, well, LAROI, you know what I mean? Like, what else do you need to say?
I always wonder if a lot of the people that listen to him now and have found his music, because I was listening to him back in like that first EP sort of thing he dropped, like the little like, you know, he's 13 years old.
You know that story, yeah? That AUDollars discovered the Kid LAROI, you know?
Really?
Yeah, bro.
For real?
Track record was there. Even like NME, when they did their story on him around his documentary, they're like, yeah, Azrico $8 was the first publication. Yeah, we covered him back in 2016, bro, when he was part of a duo in Adelaide, and he did a remix of 21 Savage. It was like the first thing he dropped.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've got DMs with him from, bro, he's like, can you help me get more SoundCloud followers, bro? I got like 6 or 7 SoundCloud followers.
For real?
Yeah. And
that's hectic.
we were premiering his stuff on that radio show that I was talking about.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I say that not to be like, oh, we do this, but to be like, yo, this shit's super achievable.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen kids go to the biggest artists in the world. Like, this shit is achievable if you put in the work and you got the talent. It's crazy cool, man.
It is.
I never could have dreamed that back in the days. That kid doing free guitar lessons or rapping at the school carols, man. I couldn't believe I'd lived the life I've lived to this point.
Yeah.
And I feel really blessed by it. And by no means have I got like a mansion and like Rolly and big cars and whatever, but the experience I've had and like the edification in my soul from pursuing something that just filled me from a young age. Like, that's fucking cool.
It's
bro.
it's that thing that goes over wealth in the kind of monetary sense. It's that richness of actually life,
bro. It's and
cool, seeing it here, and obviously being tapped in with you for a while, you've definitely got that. So it's like
it's cool, man.
Sick
like,
to hear that story.
I get to do this, bro. Like this is, some people work jobs they hate for their whole life. You know what I mean? And I'm just glad that. And I'm not saying it's all rosy. Of course, if you have your tough days running your own business, you know what it's like, bro.
Yeah.
Some days this shit is not some days, all days this shit is stressful. The stresses you've been through
this
today.
Morning, bro. On the
you
way
don't
here.
even know the shit this man went through. Like
it always is. But the thing is, if you love what you do, it doesn't feel like you work a day in your life. And if you're like truly passionate about it, and so kind of your heart and soul is into it, even when it is tough, like it's.
I disagree,
tough.
to be honest. I think I don't like that saying that if you work in something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. I believe you just work every day of your life.
Yeah.
Like I think you work harder because of it, but you've got purpose.
But it doesn't feel like you're going to slave away at some other person's
idea.
idea.
It's your purpose in life, not just your purpose in work. That's where the distinction is like the shit you went through today, that you guys went through today. Like you're willing to do it because you see a vision. And
that's
like,
it.
But if that was just punching in your clock for someone else, you don't give a fuck, bro.
No, that's it. That's it. Like it's the separation of those two things.
Yeah.
Speaking of work though, and it's a topic I wanted to cover.
Yeah.
The other side and the more other side to Matthew Craig in the youth workspace. That's something I can relate to you.
Yeah, for sure.
Like heavily. And I don't know heaps about what. So you've been involved with that for quite a while. And
yeah, man. Yeah. So I'm a qualified youth worker. I to be honest, it all started because like you probably get the feeling, my family are really strong community people. My dad was like always volunteering, mum was as well, and always just helping community stuff, whether it was like sport or school or whatever. Yeah. And so I always had this strong like belief, and it comes from like a cultural thing as well, like in immigrant background, about like you invest in your community and like you don't exist in isolation type shit.
Yeah.
So that was just a strong belief from growing up and having that example for me that I've always been involved in it. Like I remember going to help my parents with things when I was a kid, or like I started getting involved in sports coaching when I was really young. So just working with young people. Also, like I'm a big brother. That's my first role in life. Like I got younger siblings, and so like it's instinctively in me to like be a leader or a guide or a protector or like pass on knowledge. That's just like all I know. So I think that sort of transferred outside the family into life. And then when I saw that that's a career option, I pursued it. So like I went to uni, I studied law, I graduated. So I'm a qualified lawyer, but then I decided in 2012 when I was over there, like that's not what I want to pursue. I want the skill set, but like what I want to do is entertainment and contribute to culture and community. And then I saw alongside that youth work was an opportunity to do that. So I just took my volunteering experience. I went and after I finished my law degree, went and did a diploma of youth work, and then just started flat out like volunteering and doing placements at like every type of youth work organization you could think of, just to get experience and to figure out what I wanted to do. So I did like AOD stuff, I did resi care, I did in-school stuff, just everything you can think of. and then ended up at a few organizations. And what I really enjoy, I currently work in an organization called the Center for Multicultural Youth. And so I do a lot of work running workshops, mainly for high school age students, sometimes like primary as well, around like youth empowerment and active citizenship, a lot around mental health now. I'm working on a mental health program, which is around like mental health literacy in multicultural communities. So I predominantly work with like, refugee and newly arrived young people. And I think I really enjoy working with different cultural communities because like I can relate to it with my experience. Like I was born here, but I can relate to just the experience of, especially being a mixed race kid, not feeling at home in a couple of different worlds.
Yeah.
And feeling a clash of cultures. And a lot of newly arrived young people feel that because they feel the connection to their homeland, but also wanting to be a part of this land. So it's a really cool space to work in. And and I've been doing that, for over a decade now. But I see it as just part of the same mission as the music stuff. Like for me, it all links into each other. It
does, hey. It really does.
Like exactly what you're doing, bro.
Yeah,
like I don't see a separation in them. Like a couple of days a week, I'm off doing the youth work stuff. But when I'm there, I'm still seeing how I tie into what I'm doing here. And when I'm here, I'm thinking of how that ties in. And it's all the same mission. It's just different outlets for it.
Yeah, I feel that. I honestly do. That's the best way that I've spoken with someone or heard the best explanation with someone else in youth work that also does music as well, because you kind of give them.
It's a pretty common thing as well. There's a lot of like Enfa Jones is like the goat of Oz rap in my opinion. Like he does a lot of that sort of stuff. There's a lot of programs being run around, not just Melbourne, but different cities like yourself, and a lot of leaders in communities doing exactly what we're doing. And I think that's why we connect as well, because we just got the same vision, we understand the same impact, and we deal with the same bullshit.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It's really fulfilling. And like, if the music stuff or like the studio stuff takes off and has that like mainstream commercial success, what everyone defines as actual success, that'd be cool. That's a bonus. But to me, like, this is success already.
Yeah, 100%.
Like there's youngins in this building who are like developing not only their artistry, but their business skills, and they're like running their own shit and whatever. If they didn't have this space or that ability, they'd be dead or locked up or addicted, bro. That's like the truth. I'd be down one of those paths probably, you know what I mean? If I didn't have good support networks around me. And so to be able to provide that to people and have them become the best version of themselves and get to like play a little role in that, like that's fucking cool, bro. It's cool. And be around dope artists and dope art at the same time. Like,
and I think it is that success as well, because, you know, you think of 10-year-old Matty Craig on that stage at the Christmas carols things, think about this now. Like, I feel once you keep climbing that ladder, as you would know, you keep climbing and you're just looking at the next step, the next step. And sometimes you don't reflect as much to go, fuck, you know, the 10-year-old me is like, whoa.
Yeah.
You know, I was looking at those people in the community, even if you didn't know them, but like those sort of big idols and going, man, one day, like, imagine if I could get to that sort of stuff.
Yeah. No, for real, bro. And it's, definitely only in the last few years have managed to start to do that. I think and maybe it comes to getting older. I'm in my 30s now, like a bit older, like big bro heading towards Unk era. Like I reflect a bit more, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're close to that. Yeah.
I'm getting towards that era. And so it's like only now I start to get reflective and get, I guess, more grateful and appreciative. Because definitely when you're younger and you're hustling, like you're only looking ahead and you start getting frustrated. And I say this all the time as well. It's like, I was having this chat with one of the homies out front today. It's like, you get really frustrated when you're younger because you can see the end goal already. You can see where you're going to be, but you just got to work harder and give it more time. Yeah. Everything takes longer than you expect.
Yeah.
And you have to work harder than you expect for everything. And anything that comes easy ain't worth having anyway. I look at it like a video game. You've got to you have to pass every level and you've got to collect all the gemstones or whatever the fuck it is. And then you've got the skill base to handle that, to handle that next level. If you enter a cheat code and you jump up a few levels, you're not ready and equipped for it and you'll fall back down. And that's how I look at this shit. Is like you have to go 1 year at a time, build the foundation. But now I'm at a period where I'm like, I can look back as well as look forward. Like the future's cool, but I'm also way more content with where I'm at now.
Yeah.
Like, and just grateful for everything rather than being like, oh, I got to work harder. I deserve this. I should be there. Like I still got goals and ambitions, but I'm also like at a level like, if I just get to keep doing the same shit I'm doing now, just on a bigger scale, I'm good. Like I'm happy. Like I've already achieved, in some respects, more than I anticipated, but I've still got more work to do. But for me, the most important thing is like, don't ever measure my success by what I've achieved in any capacity. Measure my success by what others that I've empowered have achieved. And that will be my legacy and my measure of success.
Yeah.
And in some little way, some artists who are now achieving like fucking generational shit, I've played a small part in their story. I'll walk away satisfied with that.
Seed.
I'm cool with that, bro. That's a fucking cool role to play in this life, man. As I said, I feel like a big brother is my role.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean I'm the superstar, but it means I get to put the jetpack on people, bro, and that's fucking dope.
Yeah, no, and it's true. I think the power in planting the seeds, and I see it when I look at the work that I do with the youth, is you don't come in expecting to be the person at the forefront, like, I want to change these kids' lives and all. It's like, no, I'll just plant these seeds.
Yeah.
At one point in time, I was that safe person where they felt like they could connect, be vulnerable, any of these different sort of things. A topic that I had on here, it's interesting how I think it's because I know you better than when you get a complete random person on, you don't know how a conversation would flow as much. Yeah. But it's flown quite well with kind of what I was thinking.
We've had a few late nights together as well, having these early morning conversations.
But I think off what you were saying there, the like a big bro and all that sort of stuff, the importance of mentorship.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that, you know, you've even been, I've looked at it, if I was to say like pinnacle mentors through my music career, you've 100% been one of them.
Love, bro.
But mentorship and like how, like who were your mentors, the earliest sort of memories that you had of people kind of mentoring you and how that impacted how you mentored?
Yeah. As I said, I'm really fortunate to have a great relationship with my parents. Like my parents have definitely been like my biggest allies, rock supporters. Probably to my own debt. Like I was a bit of a pain in the ass kid, probably more a pain in the ass young adult, to be honest. But you know, they persisted and shout out them. But yeah, my parents have always been a really good source of guidance for me. My dad is an entrepreneur and like doing that sort of stuff, a community person, like definitely a big inspiration for me. Didn't really, to be honest, have hella like OGs or anything in the music industry, but I did outside of that space. So I've got a close personal friend. He's a chef by the name of Rob Reese. He's a Michelin star chef. He's like a celebrity type chef, like from the UK. Yeah, he's lived out here for a long time. And I remember he's one of my dad's good friends that I was introduced to. And he was a really strong mentor to me about like career development as well. And I remember this concept he introduced me to back in 2015 about like career planning and stuff. And he spoke to me about how he transitioned his career in the UK and wanted to bring his family out to Australia. And he spoke to me a lot about strategic planning and growth and development and career and all those sort of things. And I've applied a lot of those principles to my journey over the last 10 years. And what's cool is like I sat with him in 2015, built a 10-year plan. And I've been looking at it recently and I've ticked off most of those things.
Yeah.
Which is, and also I haven't ticked off some of those things, but the importance of some of those things have changed to me.
Yeah.
And there's other things that are more important. So I'm currently in the period of my life where I'm reflecting on that 10-year plan, on what worked, what didn't, and then building my next 10-year plan. And it's cool how some of those goals have changed. Another person who's a really big mentor to me is one of our business partners for Marshall Street and AUDollars, Chris Vaughan. He's based up in Sydney. We met through the music industry over a decade ago. He was at Beyond the Valley, one of the early ones when Junior Ooze were playing, and he linked with them side of stage, and then we connected after that. And he's been a real good mentor for me as well, not only in terms of like a real good sounding board when I can get frustrated or when I need someone to bounce ideas off. He's really great like that, but also a really great motivator and empowerment sort of figure for me. Because what's crazy is I do all this work trying to empower other people, but then can doubt myself on shit.
Yeah.
Like have self-doubt or imposter syndrome or any of that sort of shit. So it's really important to have people that can help you like take off your own like
and it can be hard, like you said there, when you're in that spot where it's often you doing that for everyone else.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
it's crazy like that. Like I literally had a chat with Chris in the last week where I was like, thank you, bro. Like I've never had a big brother, so you're like a big bro to me because he's older than I am. And I was like you give me the support that I give to other people, and that's really valued. And yeah, like, and that's mad. You know what I mean? He's old, he's got kids, he's married, all that sort of stuff. He's had career success and that. And it's just cool for me to have people like him or Rob or my dad or whatever who I can look up to and be like, cool. Not only do I know you've got my back, but I've got something aspirational to look at. And what's crazy is like, yeah, I've tried to be that for a lot of people, but you need that in your own life. Very much so.
Yeah, it is important, bro. It really is. And I think, I can relate to that in senses as well, where you might always be the person that's like, oh yeah, we're going to do this, or more of a leadership role, but you still need that sort of someone to kind of like lean back on and still vent to.
And a lot of my doubts aren't necessarily about like career or anything. It often comes to like, you know, you got this full circle of life. This is how I just describe it to some people. I'm like, you know, when you play a video game for the first time and you're just exploring the map and it's fun as fuck, and you're running around in whatever game it is and you're just learning for the first time, you can never get that experience back. When you play the game 100 times, it's still fun, but you don't get that same buzz.
Yeah.
And so one of my greatest fears is about that, just about life. What if I'm just only exploring this much of the map? And so often I have conversations with these sort of mentor figures in my life about like the balance between work and personal life and stuff like that. Because as I said, like I'm 30s now, I'm single, I've given most of my life to my career. I'm like, well, maybe a family could be cool. Like maybe I should keep one eye on that. Or, you know, maybe there's more, maybe I want to test my skills outside of music in some areas and that. So having those conversations and getting balance is really important, because I'm someone that can go, obviously my life shows it, go all out on one thing and be hyper focused on that and neglect everything else. So it's nice to have people that provide balance perspective to me.
You just spoke then on like stuff outside of music.
Yeah.
What are the sort of things that like doing this stuff is great, like hectic, it's full on, it's constant, like overstimulating, it's full on. What are the things that you do outside of everything that kind of bring you peace and groundedness? I think it's such an important topic to talk about in this industry, and just as like humans, because life is fucking hectic, and like be interested to know those sort of things.
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm a hella loner, bro. Like I'm a lonely stoner. Like Kid Cudi's my favorite rapper of all time. You know, like, and I think that's part of like also just working in this industry where I have so many interactions with people in one given day. I was just having this conversation before. It's like, on any given day, there's easy 100 people in this building.
Yeah.
Every single one of them interacts with me. And every single one of them wants to have a conversation. I value that and I'm grateful for it and I don't resent it at all. A limited social battery, though, is like, at the end of the day, majority of days, I'm at home with my dog, smoking weed, watching the sunset, hitting the gym, just trying to stay low key, going for walks with my dog, like just de-stressing almost, like trying to be simple. Majority of the music I listen to in my own time is not hip hop. Is not.
Yeah, I know this as well.
Yeah,
I know this for the people that don't. We sat, we were in a tent at the early hours of the last day of Beyond the Valley, and I was like spun out by the music that you listen to.
Bro.
I was like, "What? This is." But you were like the curator. You had all the vibes, bro. On lock.
That's something I love to do. I just love to sit and listen to nostalgic music, curate a playlist. If I'm hanging out with people, I'm always on the playlist. It's crazy that I'm built a career off it, I guess. Just like I like curating. But yeah, chilled sort of stuff. Yeah, very low key. I recently took up golf. I started playing golf. I think over summer. I've been playing once a week. Again, something I'm out by myself in nature. I'm actually like hella nerdy as well. In my room at home, I've got like ripped out bits of paper from like notebooks all over my wall, and I like write stuff on them, and I write like lists, and I'll be like things that make me happy, and every time I think of something I'll add it to it, and I look at that shit and I'm like, cool, these are things that make me happy, or things that make me feel like me, or whatever it is, things I want to achieve, and I look at that shit and visualize that shit, and then make sure that I'm filling my life with those things.
That's
so
cool.
I'm hella intentional like that. So if I'm feeling shit, I'll look at my wall and I'm like, well, you haven't done that for a while. Like, no wonder you're feeling shit. Like, I'm very routine based. So I'm like, wake up every morning, you know, cuddle the dog, do my gratitude journal, like stretch, get outside, get some fresh, like exercise, all these things. And if I'm not in a good place, I just review it and I'm like, oh, well, you haven't done that, man. Like, of course you're feeling shit.
Yeah.
Even things like make sure you visit your family. Like yesterday, my sister works not far from me. And I messaged her like, you at work? Yeah, cool. I'm leaving work now. I'm going to come. And we just went for a walk around the block. Yeah. Little things like that. Like if you're not putting those ingredients, you can't have a healthy sort of life, I feel. So those I enjoy sport. I love sport. Grew up playing like footy, Aussie rules, and cricket.
Who do you go for again?
Geelong.
True.
Great win last night. Yeah. Huge. That's my one thing every week. I watch the footy, or I go to the footy. But usually I'll just watch it at home by myself, screaming at the TV with the dog. It's again my time to let it my shit out. I love the footy, cricket. Yeah, I've still play cricket. Love that game. So yeah, sport's a big thing. I'm hella nerdy. I read, watch a lot of documentaries. I have a thirst for knowledge, bro. Like I just have to soak up shit. Like if you go through my YouTube recommendations, bro, it's all like nerdy science shit or nature documentaries or politics or something. Like I love information like that. And I have this chronic thing where it's like I suffer from insomnia. I've also got tinnitus, so like I've got permanent ringing in my ears and stuff.
True. I've actually seen that. You posted a video about that.
Yeah.
The importance of wearing the
earplugs.
That why it is from the festivals?
I think it's from just overexposure to loud stuff through the industry. But I never thought about ear care until it was too late.
Yeah, I think that's the common thing though.
Yeah, and so like I'm huge like on that. Go get your ears tested, please. Like it's fucked, man. Like it was 2 years ago this month that I got diagnosed with that, and that was the hardest period of my life.
What's that like for you? Like, what is the?
It's pretty calm when like during the day.
Yeah.
When there's other sounds going on, like I can hear it right now, but I'm not super focused on it. That's only in this ear, so like this ear's pretty good. I'm worried this year will go because everyone gets tinnitus every now and then. You get ringing in your ears.
Yep.
I just got it one night and it never went away. And it comes and goes more frequently than normal in this ear, but it's permanent in this ear. And I've also got a bit of hearing loss in this one. And it's just, from overexposure. So that month, though, was like one of the hardest, probably the first 2 months of having it. I also had a heap of other personal shit go down my life. I had people pass away and shit like that. But it all sort of just fueled on each other because I couldn't sleep. And then can't sleep, plus you get this ring like insomnia, mental health issues, frustration, anger, and it just started bubbling and bubbling and bubbling. And I started hella on like Reddit, just trying to like read what other people are saying, like how do I deal with this shit. But eventually it was just like you learn to live with it. It's like any other ailment. It's not classified as a disability, I don't think, but any other ailment in your life. If you got a bad hip or a bad leg or whatever, you just learn, your body adapts.
Yeah.
And so after the first few months, it was like I'm prescribed cannabis and stuff. Like that stuff helps me sleep. I try and stay off the benzos and shit. You know what I mean? Sometimes if it's like real bad, I'll take something. But so it's like you just learn to live with it though. It's like, but I just don't want other stuff to go to the same sort of shit. I can't remember where I was going with that.
We were talking about outside of the music, that the groundedness, all these things.
Yeah.
But off that though, and I'm bringing this up because in that notorious tent, a lot of things are spoken about, but I think this was, for the context of people watching, this was just going into 2025. It was New Year's Eve, and I think we all reflected on like,
bro, that was the most wholesome tent.
Yeah, wasn't it?
We sat in a tent, cooked ass. Not even gonna lie, it's festival, New Year's Eve, and we were like, it was the most wholesome tent, and we were like talking about things we were proud of and things we wanted to achieve, and it was just like. Festival family vibes are the best, bro.
Yours, though, was about journaling. You reminded me just then.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot of people that do that every single day religiously.
Yeah.
And I think I did ask you then, but obviously during the state, 100% forgot.
Yeah.
But how has like that affected, I don't know, what's that kind of like brought into your life?
Yeah. Discipline is definitely one of the things that's brought more. And that was, my goal last year was to begin journaling. I've always wanted to, but I've always been too lazy or not disciplined enough.
Are you still? As well?
Yeah. Started last year. I was like, that's my mission. And I did it all through last year. I've been doing it today. Haven't done it for today yet, but I will go do it later tonight. So that's the thing is like, I wanted it to be a morning routine thing. It hasn't turned into an every morning thing, but I at least make sure I do it every day.
Yeah.
And it's just a reflection of gratitude, of anxieties, of like strategies to deal with that sort of stuff. But it's a real cool opportunity. I learned this when I learned to meditate a few years ago as well. It's like so often we're active in life. So often you're the leaf going down the river and you're caught up with the water and whatever, you're like this. But whenever you meditate or you journal or whatever, you get to be the person on the bank of the river watching the leaf go down. It's like you get to like step outside and provide yourself with some time to reflect on your existence. And I think that's super powerful because anxiety is caused by like a fear or stress about future events. Depression is caused by a stir or a regret or for past events. But when you're fully present, you don't really have either of those things. In my experience anyway, I don't want to talk to anyone else's, but like when I'm present in the moment and I'm fully just in my senses, alive, and I'm not thinking about anything else, then I get to just be.
Yeah.
And I think so often we treat ourselves as like humans doing rather than human beings. And adopting River, my dog, is taught me something about that as well. So I just watch her and she just sunbake or whatever, or she'll rest or she'll chew on a bone, but she's just in the moment. There's so many things that we complicate life with. And so journaling has been an escape for me to reflect on that experience and just to unplug from the matrix for 15 minutes. And it's been really cool because I can go back and track my growth and notice that the things that maybe I'm anxious about are pretty like segmented. I can see most of my stresses come from like career or money or capitalist sort of things. So I'm like, cool, well, that's not even real, bro. It's like your actual stresses are minute, man. You got your health, you got people you love, all that. That's cool. And then I reflect on my gratitudes, and a lot of them are really simple things.
Yeah.
Rarely am I grateful for any massive. It's just like, you know, sunshine in the morning or cuddles with the dog or like seeing my family for dinner. It's like super simple things. And it's like, cool, if that's what you're grateful for, focus on those things in your life. If these are the things you're anxious about, cool, let's deal with those, but also realize they're only this small percentage. And so journaling's given me that sort of perspective, which is cool. And I was never disciplined enough to do it. I always was envious of people that could, but then last year I was just like, fuck it.
And do you think the discipline, like with the consistency and putting it absolutely rigidly into your routine, it becomes less disciplinary? And that's just, or do you still think it's still something that you have to set aside that time?
Yeah, it's still discipline. Like I think anything is in that respect. Like you still got to do it. It's like going to the gym, man. It's like I don't want to go to the gym all the time, but when I don't have motivation, I've got to rely on discipline.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So yeah, it's a bit like that. Like, do I want to journal all the time? No, but as soon as I'm doing it, I love it again.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's that thing. It's like something, as I said, I haven't done today, but I'll go home tonight and I'll do it. And yeah, it's definitely a discipline thing, but it's a rewarding for anything. I think anything like that you got to be disciplined, like you don't get the rewards immediately, but they compound over time.
So we spoke, obviously, at the, it's been brought up 3 times now, this notorious tent. We spoke about the last year's goals and things that we'd accomplished. What have you got this year? What do you think are your kind of big main, what's in the headlights that you want to kind of get to?
Improve my golf game. Number one.
I seen you sussing out Liam out the front there before. You're like, yeah, what's your, I know no golf terms at all, so I don't want to say, what is it, par score or something?
Yeah, I was asking him what he shoots for around, yeah. Yeah, that's a bit of a joke, but it's actually true. I'm really into it this year. So like, yeah, I want to get better at that. It's a game I want to play for the rest of my life. So, and I joke about that, but it's true. And so that's why like I've been hitting the golf course at least once a week, every week this year. Because on my board, it's something that brings me joy. It's something I want to achieve at. So like you got to set time aside for that. And Stu Watts, the head engineer here at Marshall Street, like he's a few years older than me. He's got wife and kids and stuff like that. And he gives me a lot of advice around that work-life balance stuff. He runs a full-time engineering business here, you know, mix engineer, producer. So he's doing exactly what I'm doing, but he always has time for his family. He gets out of here every day and goes home to his family, and because that's what makes him happy, and that's his passion and shit. So he's provided me a lot of guidance about like, bro, if there's something you want to do outside of this shit, go prioritize it and do it. And I was like, cool, golf's one of them. He's like, well, go play golf once a week every morning. Like, don't come to the studio that morning.
Yeah,
come to the studio at lunch. I'm like, yeah, but this or that. He goes, yeah, but there's always going to be something.
That's it.
So go do it. So, yeah, so that's one thing. Continuing training with my dog. Like, I'm naming things that aren't even business oriented, but
that's it. It just shows the kind of the simplicity to goals and stuff. They don't need to be these crazy like.
No, but in terms of music and career and that, like I've got my next project I want to drop this year and roll out. Do that, play a launch show on that. And then, I've got some creative ventures, some AUDollars sort of stuff that I'm looking to roll out this year as well. Also, I'm starting to explore things outside of my music industry ventures or whatever as well. Like, as I said, I'm sort of in my 10-year end of that plan. So a lot of this year is about assessing that and then building the plan for the next 10. So it's not so much about what I want to achieve this year, but it's about laying the foundations for what I want to achieve over the next 5 or 10. And those things probably involve a lot more in a personal life sort of situation. Like, you know, I want to be a dad within 10 years. That ain't going to happen it does happen by accident. But you know what I mean? Like, it's in terms of building a family and that, like, that's going to have to be an intentional thing that I put time into rather than just career. And so finding that balance. And so that's why I've been seeking a lot of guidance around those things. I definitely on my board of shit I want to achieve this year, like to travel and collaborate more with people. Just did that last 2 weekends ago. I was in Adelaide. Linked up with some creatives over there. Got a song coming out with Goobsy very soon. Doing more of that. So yeah, in the artist space, it's about like connecting. What my art is for me now is about creating memories. I love watching my own music videos, bro. Like one, because that's art that I've created, I'm proud of, and it's a vision that's, you know, come to life how I imagined it. But two, because I just remember what it was like to be in that moment.
Yeah, yeah.
And that nostalgia, that's probably where I'm at with my music artistry career now. It's about just creating moments linked with people that I fuck with, so that in 20 years time I can look back on that and go, that's fucking cool. Like, well, I can watch back this podcast.
Yeah, yeah. That's I think of the same stuff, and a few of the questions that I've been asking, but I've changed it for this one because I asked it a few times. At the end, I've always asked people like, oh, if you know you're watching this in the future, what's the message to your future
question,
self? I asked it yesterday. We did a pod obviously last night with Little Snow. His answer was definitely something that I did not expect, but everyone has their own sort of thing. But that's why I like doing this stuff. I think like, fuck man, when I'm 60, 70 and I've got like my grandkids and stuff, I can be like that cool granddad that can be like, yeah, look at this music video. And then also just reminisce through that as well. Yeah. Like it's just like the thing with being creative in this way and how social media works now, and it's all out there. Yeah. So we just have like a full movie that when we get older, we can sit back and watch all this cool shit.
One of the best bits of advice one of the best answers I ever had to a question, was Gets, the UK rapper, OG. I interviewed him at BTV, the rap recently. But the first time I interviewed him over Zoom, like 4 years ago or whatever it was, he said to me exactly what you're saying now. He said that back in the day, or when we were kids or whatever, you had to learn about your ancestors or whatever
your
through
family tree
through word of mouth or whatever, or through like the old photo album they get out, and you see these still images of people in a different time, and then you would have to rely on the stories people were telling you about them to get the context. And he's like, that ain't gonna happen for our like lineage, that ain't gonna happen for future generations. Like they will just get to watch us and see exactly who we were. And so he said to me, he goes, so why the hell wouldn't you want to put your all into that? Like why wouldn't you want to present the absolute honest, most authentic, best version of yourself in any of the content you create? And that stuck with me. And I was like, cool, that became a bit of a lens for what I'm doing. It's like, I'm just creating my autobiography, man. Like you're not going to need to read that shit one day. Like you just get to watch it.
Like, it's like a season, bro. There's like 10 series, 10 seasons to it, you know.
And with that as well is like, obviously your Instagram and TikTok, they're like a highlights package for people as well. But like opportunities like this to have real discussions. In this very room, actually, I had a discussion with my dad like a year or so ago, and I was like, "Hey, Dad, I want to interview you." And he's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "I want to know more about your life. Like, it's hard to hear stories because like you're only so forthcoming." And I'm like, "Can I just start interviewing you like I would any of the fucking hundreds of artists that I have in my life, and just learn more about your story and just record it? And I'm not releasing it. I just want it." I just want to learn more, and because that can help us feel closer connected as well. So we sat in this room like nearly a year ago and we're gonna do it as a series, you know what I mean? Just to keep, or maybe one day, you know, generations down the line can watch this video and whatever. Like, but that sort of thing is pretty cool that you can just capture the essence of humanity now, like right here.
Yeah, it is cool. I have a similar thing. Like I want to do that with my grandmother. I need to go down to where she lives and do the same thing. I think it's like we need to utilize, you know, the stuffs that we have now, and that we are able to not just look at a photo and just be like, oh yeah, that's that person, and really know nothing about who they are. We can really capture, like you said, these really important moments, bro. It is a blessing. It is an absolute blessing. All right. I wanted to end it. I feel real dry. It's like it's just like, you know what, fuck you, man. I just want to end it. I'm out of beer. I don't have another beer. I'm done. I mean, mind you.
Enough. It's like kicking the table.
No, I got it's been a hectic few days. I feel
you've been
after potties, your brain,
bro, you're fried, man.
Yeah, like just a full conversation with like the bright lights, and it's just like you're just there. There's nothing. It's afterwards you kind of hop, but I've got to hop on another one. But
this guy's got to go do another podcast straight of this.
But I'm a guest, so it'll be a bit different. At least then I don't have to feel as if I'm like, oh shit, if this conversation starts to die out, I've got to figure out ways to kind of circle navigate.
This is a pretty easy one to go back off though. Someone that you cool with.
Definitely. There's been that's the interesting thing with doing podcasts is you need a good host. And a host that's like confident with the direction of the conversation. But you can have difficult guests and they're just very like, this, and you're like, all right, like I don't
go fishing.
I don't like looking at my notes heaps and stuff. Or like I want to get to a stage where I don't have any notes and it can be really natural sort of vibe. But then it can be hard if someone's giving you really like closed off responses and you're just like, cool. So anyway.
I've had some interviews that I never released because I just didn't think they were up to standard.
Yeah, I feel that as well.
I've told the labels or the managers or whatever that have hooked them up. It's like, you can watch it if you want.
Yeah.
Let me know your thoughts, but I didn't think it went well.
Mm.
I've turned them into like written articles or something like that, but I'm just like, I'm not sure that sat right. For whatever variable it was.
I feel that as well, and I think I'd be much of the same. There actually has been times where we've done that, but it was more so from the guest going, no, not really. You know, they get that kind of like secondhand anxiety about whatever they were saying, and it's an awkward thing listening back to yourself talking if you've never done it before. Yeah. It is definitely like a weird thing. I was going to say, have we got another beer there? Crack a cheeky one for the. Is there any more there? Oh, we have an assistant. Just don't knock the camera. I'll smack 3. I'm gonna be pissed by the time I hop on with.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I'm on the third one here.
No, it's lucky that these are the
lower carb
lower carb,
no
the
carb.
lowest carb,
the lowest
of
carb
a Carlton
you can get.
Dry.
Shout out.
Yeah, cool one that I had down that I hadn't segmented into, but what is it? Favorite moment of AUDollars in the whole history, or like top 3, like the ones that stand out to you when you were like, whoa, what the fuck? Or this is...
Yeah, that's cool.
What are those moments throughout this time that have just been crazy?
Definitely my favorite moment in this shit was, so in 2017, if you haven't seen them, go look them up. We did a thing called we used to have a series called the Vault Ciphers. So we had ciphers after every episode of the radio show. I think we started calling them the Vault or whatever, but we did this one series, particularly the Vault, that we... it was like the first time we've Australia done the XXL freshman sort of stuff. Like I've seen other publications do similar stuff since, but we did it in 2017, and we brought artists all together from around the country. We had no corporate sponsor or none of that. We didn't have budget to pay people to fly down. This is when the infrastructure wasn't what it is today. And so we had artists from all over the country flying on their own dime, and we had a camera team together, and everyone that was involved in production, no one got paid off nothing. Yeah. Everyone was just there giving whatever they could for the culture, for the building of this shit. And so we did that in 2017. There was artists from everywhere linking up that had never met each other before. And it really felt like, this shit was on the verge of something special. And definitely look what it's evolved into since. And not just from AUDollars, from a million different places doing cool shit. But that was a real organic moment. And I love reflecting on it because JJ was there at the time as well. So his verse lives forever. And that's a really special moment because, like, obviously he was my brother and he was there, and we've got that on camera forever. But just the genuine energy that was in that room. We were all still young. $8 had been around for a year, and we pulled that shit off with no backing. You know what I mean? Like, that was just cool. And everyone, like, there's artists that have gone on from that to do. Y'all can go look it up. You know what I mean? There's artists that have gone on to do some really dope shit. And when I link up with them, we still talk about that day. We're just like, it was so like.
Are they up on YouTube and shit?
Yeah, it's all up on YouTube, Facebook, everywhere, yeah. But it was just such an authentic day. It was just felt real cool. Definitely the culture's, like, the scene has grown exponentially since then, but also has been gentrified heaps since then.
Yeah.
And I look back on that as such a not watered down, like, genuine moment that was like, that'll live in my memory forever as something really significant. So that's definitely one of them. So I think some others. Definitely some of the interviews I've done, bro, like, moments where it's like, holy shit, I get to connect with this person. Like, there's been so many like artists I really admire that Who
would you say was the most like, what the fuck? Like,
there's a few of them. Like reshaped has always been one of my favorite rappers. Like, he's been in my like Spotify rap top whatever like every single year for the last decade. Like, I love.
That's crazy. And then you got to interview him.
And I got to chat with him and interview him. Killer Mike, Gets, Pink Sweat's one of my favorite R&B artists. Brent Fires, like. These are moments that stick out. Just connecting with people that I admire them for their art or whatever, and then just getting connected on a human level. That's really cool. And then a third one would be probably just the I guess impact we've been able to have. Bro, you're a perfect example. Like, through the artist services stuff, man. I've been able to work with artists who have gone to do really fucking cool shit, not as artists, but as entrepreneurs, podcast hosts, whatever, bro. That's that empowerment aspect, like, that fulfills me every day. When I see, like, other creatives that I know or I've, helped out in some way, shape, or form, killing it, bro, like, I treat that as a personal win.
Yeah.
So that's probably been my other favorite element to that, is just seeing I've been able to play a part and then watch other artists, like, at their own headline show. They never thought they could do a headline show, and they've done it and they've sold it out. And seeing all the people in the crowd like vibe to that, and I'm just standing in the back, just like, this is fucking cool.
Yeah,
like I remember when we had a meeting about this 3 months ago, and I was like, we're doing a headline show and we're gonna sell it out. And then that gets achieved, and then have the artist come up to me afterwards and go, "Yo, we fucking did that, bro! I never thought I could do that. That is like cool as fuck."
And I think it's
because they can pass that on as well,
and it's received vice versa. Like I can even say, like when there'd be times where I'm like, "Oh yeah, I got that meeting with Matt today about when we're like rolling out certain things." And I'm like, "Oh, I couldn't be fucked." Not that I didn't want to talk to you, but in that creative way, I was just like, "Fuck, I got so much shit going on." And then I talked to someone like Ava afterwards. I was like, "Oh." Thank fuck. Every time I talk to Matt, I'm on the ball, I'm grinding out. And it's just because it's reciprocated both ways.
Yeah,
like, you know, that respect and appreciation, it definitely, it goes both ways, man. I've felt it, and it's,
that's sick, bro. Yeah, that's really cool.
It is sick. I can actually remember the first time it came up on my Snapchat, man. This was like 2021.
Yeah.
I remember, like, it would have been you that reached out to me. I remember taking like a photo of like the AUDollars, like that artist pack thing.
Yeah.
And I was just over the moon because no one had ever, within like their somewhat, you know, bigger than an underground or any sort of platform had reached out to.
Type
you know,
shit.
but no one had, but I don't see you guys as like industry not at all.
Yeah.
But it was cool in the sense of like, no one had reached out and it just kind of instilled that shit like, oh, you know, there is a community there that fucks with me. I don't have to be in a clique or like popping off to be accepted and appreciated. So you've built something really sick here, bro.
Love, bro. Still more to go though. Like I'll be happy once. Like my whole from this year is like I really just want to be able to sit down with Kid Cudi, bro. That's like all I want out of this shit.
Have you tried to link that in?
Well, he hasn't been to Australia in over a decade.
True.
And he was meant to come a few years ago, and I'd already had approval from his touring team. Like, yeah, we'll link up something when he can't. And then that tour got cancelled or whatever. So because he's my favorite artist of all time, and I just want to sit down with him, bro, and just be able to say like, thank you, man. Like, you saved my life. Like, if I can do that to like my idol, cool, bro.
How do you go? You've done heaps of interviews.
Yeah.
How do you go with an artist of that magnitude in the sense of like how passionate you are to his music and who he is? Would you like, how do you go with the nerves and that sort of stuff?
Yeah, I definitely get nervous before a lot of interviews, but then often I'll just meditate or listen to music that helps me get in a zone, or just smoke a joint or something like that, and just vibe. And also then I don't get nervous for meeting people. That don't happen. I get nervous, or I get like performance anxiety. I'm like, this has to go well. Yeah. Because I'm a perfectionist, and I'm like, I care about the result, and I care about the them walking away with being happy with the product. Because like we're creating a product together when you do an interview. Like the guest has to be happy with it because it's promoting them or whatever. So I want to ensure that my quality of work lives up to what they deserve. And so I get anxious around that. But then, when I'm meditating or whatever, I reflect, I'm like, bro, your quality of work's been great every single time. Like, never have I walked away from an interview and the guest or the label or whatever has said, you're no good type shit. The opposite. I've often had artists go, that's the best question I've ever been asked or whatever. Yeah. And so in my like reflections on that, I go, cool. All you got to do is be present, bro. That's the same as a boxer or when I'm playing cricket or whatever it is. It's just like, you got to get in a flow state. You got to trust your training and trust your skills and just be present. And then if you're there in the moment, then it'll flow. And so my new like process is about just getting myself performance ready. Like, don't even worry about it. Like, if you can go through the process and you can get your mind state to just being fully there, it's going to go dope, bro. So I actually do less prep than I ever have. Because
it's all about the presence.
It's about being there. Yeah, I do heaps of prep. Don't get me wrong. I know my shit.
Yeah.
But I focus way less on that now, and way more on like, okay, have you had breakfast, or are you well hydrated? Are you in a good mental space for this? I always get anxious and frustrated about tech. So like, have you set up the night before or whatever it is? Like, have you taken every step possible for every variable so that you can just be in the moment? Because if you've done that and you're in the moment, it's going to be fine, bro.
Yeah.
So that's sort of my process now, but that just comes with experience, man.
Yeah, it does, definitely. And that's it. Yeah, it is a lot of the preparation, ticking off the boxes beforehand and making sure. I think something that you said just then is so important, like that routine and like having breakfast, hydrated, that sort of stuff. Because when you're stressed, you forget that shit.
Bro.
You just wake up and you're just like, fuck eating, fuck drinking. I'm just driving here, do this real quick, and you just
But would you do that if you were a footballer or a boxer? Or something? No way, man.
You're about to go to fight camp or something. You got to, no way.
No.
It's a strict
Everything
thing.
nothing else is as important as you getting performance ready, bro. So like, yeah, that's the exact same tip that I'm on with this shit. And we have to, whether you're a performer, recording artist, podcast, or whatever, you need to be able to perform at the best of your ability. So get that shit together. That's what's most important.
100, bro. 100. Well, we are coming nearly to our
Pause.
end now.
Pause.
Bro, you can't be doing it. That's the second time you've done that to me today. What did I say? I was like,
I did that to Bliss and Esso yesterday. They lost their shit.
I'm out there talking to Liam or someone's like, yeah, I just got to do the fucking thing with Matt. And he's pause. I'm like, bruv, come on. No one else picked up on it either.
I'm so immature, can't.
But I wanted to ask you this question, but then I'm interested to know the answer because of the community aspect that you have. But it was a question just around like cosign and who that you see is like kind of like on a radar, like, oh, they're doing some really cool shit, artist or like entrepreneurial spec or any of that sort of stuff that you may feel a listener or they could know, but to kind of like that you've taken inspiration from or see I'm doing something sick and
people I take inspiration from,
or that someone that you see doing something in a sense that deserves more light.
Okay,
that you may have taken inspiration from.
Yeah, cool. On an artist phase, who's been definitely some of my favorite artists that I really enjoy what they're doing. VV Ace, who works out of here.
I've been seeing his stuff pop off.
Yeah, bro.
His sound is sick.
He's crazy.
His sound is sick.
He's crazy, and he's a younger from the north. He's like I've known bro for a minute. He's been working out of here. He's special, man. He's dope. Lord MC as well. That he does a lot of work with. Like both those boys are crazy with it, man. They're seriously good rappers. So I really fuck with what they're doing. What other artists? Mog Y is another dude from Melbourne I really fuck with. He showed me a lot of his upcoming album. Fuck with that. Around the country, yeah. When I was in Adelaide recently, like Goobsy's crazy. Elsie Wameo is one of my favorite artists in the country as well. I think she's gonna be huge. There's this young artist from Perth that I recently connected with. Her name's Brat. She's a teenager. She makes fucking incredible music. She's coming out here soon. I'm excited for her. I hate doing it, like naming this because
because you put on the spot and you're gonna forget.
I'm always gonna forget people. But also, the truth is like go sus the AU Cash Radio playlist. That's everyone that I'm fucking with. Like I'll literally be doing after this every Friday. Update that shit, and that's who I'm fucking with on a big level. There are a handful of artists that I really fuck with, entrepreneurs and stuff. Yeah, I love obviously what you're doing with 7-3, bro. It's crazy. I love what Falk's doing with Hellos, Sporting Club Hellos up in Western Sydney and his SC Hellos podcast. In a soccer sort of space, but also an entertainment space.
Mad.
The shit he's doing with Bam Bam and that, bro. He's a crazy good creative, man. Like
I have seen that. I have seen that. Yeah, I have seen that.
Falk's also, I went on his podcast like a couple of years ago, I think it was, when I was in Sydney. He's just bro, we yarned and it just felt like we were long lost cousins, to be honest, man. Cause he's Italian as well, so the stuff he's doing, he's changing on a football level. Also, one of my best friends from uni, Terry Degani.
Oh, the battery went flat.
Oh, bet.
Shit, man. Well, the other
there goes that camera.
Right,
my best friend from uni, Terry Degani, he runs a platform called Blue Abroad, and it's a football fans podcast for fans of the Carlton Blues, like AFL club. So similar to what Arsenal Fan TV do in the UK. Terry's an Arsenal fan as well. Come on, you gooners. But yeah, he runs this platform called Blue Abroad, and it's a Carlton fan channel, and he's like led the way for like AFL fan channels in Australia. It's now a thing. It was never a thing before he was doing it, and he's got a massive following. And what's cool is like in the early days, we were yarning as well. And I was giving him some tips, and we've done some shit out of here. I was giving him some tips from what I learned from the AUDollars process and how that could help with what he's doing. But now he lives full time off it, bro. He's full monetized off his YouTube and lives full time off having conversations about his football club that he loves. And so that inspires me, bro. Yep. Like people doing stuff in a wide variety of mediums or stuff. But then on the same token, like, bro, my sister's a wellbeing coordinator at a high school, you know what I mean? And like literally saving kids' lives. Like that inspires me. So I got friends like Michael Zarafa as a boxer who's winning fucking titles and shit, you know what I mean? Like Jake Matthews, one of the homies who's done some stuff out of Master Street here as well, UFC fighter, you know what I mean? Big. He's going to be in the rankings of the welterweight division before long. Like that shit inspires me. Yeah, man, just underdogs grinding and getting excellent at their craft and whatever it is. Fuck that shit.
Yeah,
I love that shit, bro.
Mad, bro. Mad. The official end question.
Yeah, let's go.
The official one. What's your why?
Yeah, that's cool. That's dope. I think about this a lot. And I exist to empower other people to be the best version of themselves. That's my reason for being on this planet.
Man, bro. Simple, straightforward. That's it.
Yeah.
We ended on that one, bro. Love.
Appreciate you, my G.
Thank you, bro. This has been a long time coming. That's episode 12. Cheers. That camera's flat now. Cheers for checking it out. Thanks for having me, bro. Cheers for letting me set it up here and stuff.
Thanks for having me here. Good to have you here, bro.
Appreciate it, bro.
Bless.
Big time. Thank you,
Love
bro.
you, G.
Much love.
That's fun, bro.
That was good. Okay.
I'm burping as fuck. Yeah.